This Sunday satsang, December 29, 2024. The first part of the class we discussed Guru Tattva Nectar. So we have here three qualities. Bhagavad Gita mentions three qualities that are necessary to realize Krishna, to gain knowledge about the absolute truth.
First one. This one.
You want the green one? This one. So this verse is in chapter 4, verse 34. You know that verse? Devotee Pranipatina. Very good. Thank you. Devotee Pranipatina Pariprashina Sevya Udakshanti Te Jnana Jnana Stapta Darshana. To acquire spiritual truth or spiritual knowledge, one must have humility, ask relevant questions, render service to the Guru. Go back. Gathering here. Okay, there we go. So there's some commentary on this verse by Tripurari Swami. I'll read from my notes also. Disciples should learn to make spiritual practice one's life's duty and stick to it. Identification with a particular guru is to recognize a specific direction which is valid for oneself in spiritual life. Identifying with the Guru gives one a vision of one's own spiritual potential. The sadhaka's own heart becomes free from material desires. Excuse me. When a sadhaka's heart becomes free from material desires, then Krishna will manifest before one as Sri Guru. We are accustomed to making material knowledge part of our agenda. In other words, we want to gain knowledge, material knowledge about some subject, so we go to college, we study, we go on the internet, whatever, we study, and we learn. So that's an agenda, that's a function and purpose that we want. But spiritual knowledge has its own agenda. Very interesting idea he's saying. This knowledge reveals its own agenda and the fact that we are part of it when we approach this knowledge on its own terms. These terms are laid out in this verse by Krishna. In other words, usually you get knowledge by endeavor, by determination, by enthusiastic effort, by application of your intelligence, by asking questions and studying books. But spiritual knowledge, part of that's true, but a big aspect of spiritual knowledge is that it's not by our power that we gain it, but by our humility it comes down to us. We have to study, we have to read books, we have to have a teacher. So it looks like material knowledge, but the key factor here, you have to serve the knowledge, you have to serve the Guru, the teacher of the knowledge, you have to be humble. So if you go to college, you don't really have to serve the teacher. I mean, you just go to class, take notes, and ask questions. You don't have to do any personal service or have any personal relationship with the teacher, because it's material transmission of knowledge from a book and a teacher to a student. But in spiritual life, what's being transmitted is knowledge of God, but also the bhav, a certain bhav, the humility of the guru, and the seva bhav of the guru is transmitted to the disciple, the worthy disciple, the qualified disciple, who qualifies himself or herself by having two qualities of submission, humility, and service, personal service. So humble submission and relative inquiry, pranipatena means lying like a stick, and inquiry means prashna means questions, rendering service. Pranipat means to humbly submit to the Guru out of respect for the wisdom that the Guru represents. This humility, submission, creates an inner state of receptivity. And pariprashna, asking questions, means we ask relevant questions. Who am I? Why am I suffering? How can I find happiness? What is the purpose of life, etc.? We ask questions due to an urgency for spiritual growth. Our questions should be relevant to our immediate advancement in spiritual life. The sincere disciple genuinely feels that my greatest fortune will be in serving, hearing, and serving the knowledge given by my Guru. The disciple thinks, I should surrender here. My life's highest fortune will be realized if I do this. This feeling arises when we hear from a teacher who has been selected by Krishna to collect our soul for divine service. This is a nice sentence here. It says, it is love that forms the bond between guru and disciple, not law. Like, you go to college, there's certain rules. You pay your tuition, then there's laws that govern that college. You're entitled to receive knowledge of material subjects from that college through the medium of a teacher in classrooms. So that's just functional law. That's the way it works. But the spiritual knowledge is based on the bondage of love between the disciple and the guru, because it's not, you just act like you want to get knowledge, but you only get knowledge if the Guru blesses you. That's what it always emphasizes. It's an essential thing, actually. Because if the Guru touches your heart, the result of that will be you have a desire to serve Krishna, and a burning desire, and you become detached from the material world, and you start to feel bliss rising in your heart, happiness and satisfaction unfound anywhere else before. So that's a special relationship that happens between disciple and guru. So that's why the sentence is quite nice. The love that forms the bondage, or the connection or bond between guru and disciple, it is love, not law. You love your college teacher or not, it doesn't matter. Better you don't. Well, maybe if you do, you get better grades. Because I know my first year in college, one of my teachers, we fell in love with each other. I got good grades. It was a writing class, an elective class. Actually only one and a half credits. Wasn't a full term class. Just to improve my writing, because you have to love writing in college, essays and all that kind of stuff. And we didn't have AI in those days. You write your essays. You had to write your own stuff. So that could be there, but so I'll read my notes on the same verse. Pranipat, what does pranipat mean? It means lie like a stick. We must surrender to this spiritual knowledge. It's not an ordinary class of knowledge, which as a subject we can make our object. Pranipatena means surrender, to submit oneself. It means you approach the Guru and say, I'm finished with material world. I want your mercy. That's why Prabhupada once said, unless one is thoroughly given up to material prospect, you really can't make much success in spiritual life. If we still feel, well, okay, I'll try this spiritual life, but I really want to do material life. Doesn't work. You have to be sufficiently burned and fried materially, either from last life, so you start young, or this life. Somehow you have to get that determination. I'm finished. I've had it. I don't want any more of this kind of way of life. I want to change. I want something different. I want something spiritual. I want something uplifting, enlightening, satisfying, fulfilling. And I tried to find all those, get to my satisfaction, fulfillment, enlightenment by material activities and material relationships. I was a failure. So I turned to the spiritual world and spiritual people and spiritual practice. And I found my satisfaction, my purpose and meaning in life. What is the meaning of life? That's a great opening question whenever you preach. You meet someone and say, what is your idea? What's the purpose of your life? What are they going to say? Make money, have a family, get a house, That's good sign language. We're both deaf and dumb, so that's how we're communicating. Baby. First life, have a baby. That's also okay, and you can do that too. But pariprashna means questions, honest, sincere inquiry, not in the mood of discussion or argument, but all efforts to understand the truth. With full attention, we should try to understand this truth, spiritual knowledge, absolute truth, which comes from a plane or a place where we've never known. And third thing is seva, service. This is the most important thing. Gopal, he came out of the woodwork. Sorry.
Because of us, he late.
He late because we bring for
Because of us, he late.
No.
Sorry for that.
Yeah, women watch out for women, they'll make you late.
No, because of us. We are the reason.
It's okay. It's okay, no problem. Only 5 minutes. Hey, Radhisham. What's up? Okay. So, this is the most important thing. We want to know, want knowledge of spiritual truth so we can serve that truth. Material world, we get knowledge so knowledge can serve us. That's a very interesting idea. We're talking about the verse from Gita about searching for Guru, surrendering to Guru to find the absolute truth. So most knowledge, we require knowledge so that knowledge will serve us. We get a job, we learn photography, we take pictures, professional pictures of weddings and whatnot. We can make money that way also. But spiritual knowledge, it doesn't serve you, you serve it. When you get the spiritual knowledge, Well, the main spiritual knowledge is I'm a servant of God. I should serve Him. So you serve the knowledge. You get that knowledge. The knowledge says you have to serve me. And the knowledge is Krishna. The absolute truth, the highest knowledge, is Krishna personified. Samvit Shakti. That's Krishna's knowledge potency. And that's one of his aspects of his reality. The absolute truth is the definition of God. So God is not going to serve us. The absolute truth is not going to serve us. We're going to serve the absolute truth. But all relative truths of the material world, relative material truths, we use those truths to serve our senses and to serve our purpose in life, material life. So that's a nice point. You learn computer, anyways, some analogy. You learn computer science, get a job, so make money, so that knowledge serves your sense gratification. Absolute knowledge is Krishna, Bhagavan. He doesn't come down to serve us, but we must offer ourselves to serve Him. In history, the entire Vedic culture, the absolute knowledge has always been imparted by this process alone. It's never by intellectual approach. Only one who's humble, sincere, and dedicated can approach the absolute truth. What is the meaning of being a disciple? Disciple means one who thinks, I should be disciplined or controlled eternally. The Guru will inflict discipline on me. To remain a disciple means to remain always under discipline. We say Guru Anagatya, Rupa Mantri Anagatya. Anagatya means following. Anu means following the lead, following the direction, following the leader. The disciple will think, I'm eternally the disciple of my Guru. Unless Guru inflicts discipline on me, I will act whimsically. I will develop material attitude. I will develop pride. Unless Guru catches me by the ear, that's really Indian thing. Indian mothers pull the earlobe. Unless he catches me by the ear and slaps me, pow! How can I become humble? Yeah, especially the Guru's 2 meters tall, so. How can I surrender or dedicate myself? Yeah, it's a little hard when you're not very big, materially big, to control disciples. Once I asked, there was a Jyoti, she was doing charts for a bunch of my disciples. I said, I don't want to know about the individual charts, but tell me what's the general idea here. He said, most of these guys around here are tigers. They're tigers. They're very powerful people. I said, they're big also, bigger, physically bigger and egoistically bigger. I said, so what's my future? They're going to eat me up. He said, no, you have to be a bigger tiger. You have to be a bigger tiger. I said, oh, good luck, man. So I don't think I won that match. That was Tiger Feast. So, okay. So 4 qualities of a disciple: humility, submission, faith, and other sacrifice for the sake of Guru and Krishna. And in Madhya chapter 24, verse 330, there's a nice purport by Prabhupada about serving Guru. Madhya chapter 24, Chaitanya Charitamrita, verse 330. I was going to bring a book, but I forgot. It's okay. Yeah, go get the book. See. You know where it is. This is qualification of a disciple. Shravanam, Manana is 2, 3 is Siddhanta Dhyan, and 4 is Seva Utsaha. Those are Sanskrit terms. Shravan means disciples should listen intently, not just hearing everything from the spiritual master. Must listen intently. Then Manana. What does Manana mean?
Meditate on thinking about
It doesn't really mean meditation exactly.
it. The thinking.
Contemplation.
That means reflection, recollecting. Meditation means fixing your mind on one point. This is a collective body of knowledge you receive. You should reflect and contemplate over it in a general way, from a broad perspective, not focus attention on one point of philosophy. Okay, but, and then that means remembering what is the significance of what I heard from the spiritual master. And always remember the frustrations and futility of ordinary mundane life. And remember the frustrations that one experienced and felt in material life. Because what happens is, as you take Diksha and practice Bhakti Sadhana for a few years, you enter into the spiritual world. And what happens is you forget. Forgetfulness is the nature of a living entity. We get into a situation and we think we've been there forever. You kind of like enter into a bubble. It's like you're in the ocean, you enter into some bubble and float on the waves of the ocean, and you don't get wet, you don't get cold, you don't get hot, you're in this heated bubble floating. So the bubble is spiritual life. You're surrounded by all spiritual energy. So you forget where you were, where you are now. So Manana, it means reflection, contemplation. Part of Manana is reflecting deeply on the teaching received from Guru and written in the spiritual books of the Guru, etc. And also reflecting and contemplating where I was and what I was doing before I came to this world of spiritual reality. But it's a world, it's called a realm. A realm is it's not a planet. Goloka is not a planet with length and depth and width. It's a saragata. The Atma is everywhere, the spiritual world is everywhere. Apari, upari, upari. It's up, it's down, where the spiritual world is everywhere. It's all pervading. So it doesn't have any boundaries, it doesn't have any limitation. So you enter into a divine consciousness by surrendering and doing bhakti bhajan, and you forget that you lived before in a world of material consciousness, which is made of length, width, and depth. And all those lengths and all those widths and all those depths is full of klesha, which means miseries. Adhyatmic klesha, adhibodhik, adhidaivik. So when you enter the spiritual realm, all that's gone. You're living in bliss. Most of the time. There's some upheavals. But so it's this Manana is an aspect of being a disciple. Always, where was I? What would I be doing? If I was in this spiritual reality, in this spiritual consciousness, what would I be doing? How would I be feeling? What would I be desiring? How would I be moving? Who would I be living with? Who would I be associating with? What would be the content of my life? What would be my activities? And everyone can understand what that means. But that comes under the category of Manana. The third thing is Shastra Siddhanta Dhyan. It means insightful contemplation and thinking over and over again about particular philosophical points that you don't understand, and question the Guru until you realize the meaning of these spiritual truths. This is the third aspect of Shastra Siddhanta Dhyan, where you're removing doubts and obtaining spiritual knowledge and learning the Siddhanta, spiritual truth. And the fourth qualification of a disciple, Shishya, is Seva Utsaha. Enthusiasm, sincerity, and earnestness, determination, and responsibility in seva. Always someone living in these everywhere. You always look before you do anything. Yeah, he's on the side. Oh yeah, he's good. Okay. Oh, he's out. Let's go. Okay, give me another. I thought I was getting an ad for sod. Okay. There's something in the cup. Yeah, it's everywhere. It's okay. Oh, it's good. Oh, great. Hot water. Okay, that's fine. This is a quotation about crying for Gurudev. This is from Srila Narayana Maharaj from a book called Vyakusamanjali. It's a commentary on that. Nanda Maharaj, Nanda Baba cries for Krishna. Yashoda Maya cries more, and the gopis cry the most, because their relationship with Krishna is so much more intense. If we don't have such a close relationship with our own guru, we can't imagine having a relationship with Rupa Mandri or Radha Krishna. Everything depends upon how intensely we serve our Gurudev. All other relations and experiences, all other relationships and experiences will develop in relationship to our service to our Guru. So we can cry for Guru, then only we can cry for Srimati Radharani. Whatever we have learned has come exclusively from Gurudev. So with our heart, we should cry for our own Guru. I don't know where I heard this. Oh, this is from Sridhar Maharaj, from Gaudiya Math. Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami. It says, the Guru and the Guru's connection with the spiritual world. There's three levels of Guru. The first Guru is situated in the spiritual world and reaching one hand down to the material world to take souls, lift up souls to the spiritual world. That means sadhana siddha. And the second one is intermediate. The Guru has one foot extended to the spiritual world, but the other foot is one's in the spiritual world reaching down, one's in this world with one foot there. He's halfway there, and he's pushing us up there. It takes, in the lowest class, the Guru has both feet in the material world, but he clearly sees the highest plane. And he's trying to take the souls from here to that plane. So he's standing there, we're standing we're standing next to, he's standing, we're both standing next to the world. We're looking everywhere, this way, that way. He said, no, it's up there. He knows, he has the eye on the goal. And he's not looking at anywhere else. So we may look other places. So that's the third class guru. So that's a little hard to understand where the guru is situated. But this is just an idea. Obviously there are different levels of spiritual advancement. And this is a way of describing it by a metaphor. This is from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. I collected these notes over 35 years, so they come from everywhere. A real spirit, a real guru is one who dispels the ignorance of the materialistic plane and opens our blind eyes by his preaching influence. The guru is one well-wisher who helps us concentrate our scattered activities on the personal absolute. Nice way to describe our scattered activity. We're going here, going there, doing this, doing that. Guru's nice stuff, all that nonsense. Just chant and meditate and read Shastra. Okay. I think that's enough for today. Let me see if I have anything more for this book. Okay, Jai Radhe Shyam. When's Guru Day still about? 4th? 4, verse 330. Guru Lakshana, Shishya Lakshana, Donar Parikshana, Seva Bhagavan, Sarvamantra Charan. Madhya Chaitanya Charitamrita chapter 24, verse 330. Wow. That's great for 1, 2, 4 columns. 4 and a half columns. That's a lot of work. Oh, this is Lord Chaitanya describing what to put in Hari Bhakti Vilas. It's called Sanatan Shiksha. What does that mean?
Instruction from Sanatana Goswami.
What?
Instruction from Sanatana Goswami.
What did you say?
Instruction from Sanatan Goswami.
Not from.
To Sanatana Goswami.
Not from.
From Sri Chaitanya to Sanatana Goswami.
Yeah. Instructions of Lord Chaitanya to Sanatan Goswami to write the book Hari Bhakti Vilas. He said, put this in that book, talk about Guru, talk about Shishya, which we read already, some characteristics of Guru. So he's saying, in your book Hari Bhakti Vilas, you describe the Lakshana, the characteristics, Guru Lakshana and Shishya Lakshana, the characteristics of Guru and disciple. So let's see. This is long, Anyway, it's a lot about Guru. It goes on forever. Amazing curve work. The qualification of a bona fide disciple are described in Bhagavatam 11th Canto, chapter 10, verse 6. One must be free from material bodily conception, give up material lust, anger, greed, illusion, madness, and envy, be interested only in understanding Krishna Tattva, should be ready to consider all points in this manner, should no longer think I'm this body or this thing belongs to me. One must love the Guru with unflinching faith. One must be very steady and fixed, and should be inquisitive to understand spiritual truth, or should not search out faults in people, should no longer be interested in material topics. The only interest should be Krishna. Okay? That's good. Now it's a little bit hard to keep fixed, so much distraction with the internet. It was easier to be a devotee 50 years ago. Now there's a lot of distraction. But you can use internet also for spiritual progress. A lot of good lectures and kirtans and things available over there. Really, a lot of talk about spiritual. Prabhupada covers everything here. Wow, it's a really elaborate purpose. Fantastic commentary. Okay, that's okay. Now let's end up Guru Tattva Nectar.